one of them at my house?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Is it the one that I said maybe you should throw in there?
No.
Oh, okay. Not Last Night on Earth.
No.
You fully expected to enjoy the game as much as you did.
Yeah, thought it was
Okay.
going to be the best game I've ever played.
Good. And you still think that?
I do. It's still the greatest game I've ever played. Welcome to Table Nods. My name is Max. This is Big Haircut. And today we're going to talk about the 5 games that we did not really anticipate enjoying.
No.
And this can be one of two things. I'm just going to continue cutting you off.
Go
It's
ahead.
going to be one of two things. Games that we really, truly did not expect to like. Like, we thought we would not like them.
Sure.
And then went in and actually enjoyed them.
Absolutely.
Or games that we maybe thought we'd like, but really ended up liking them. We tried to stray towards the other one to be more controversial and fun. But we'll see if we can make 5 of those happen.
Yeah, and
But anyways, I'm joking.
if you've been on Table Knots at all, you know that Max and I are very optimistic about games,
It's true.
typically. So this actually was tough for us to do, which should show you that these games, if you just are kind of put off by them at first, might actually be standout games.
Yeah. And we don't know either people's list. We don't know each
True.
other's. That's the way I should
Either
have said that.
people's.
Also, we have a couple of them on hand. Some of them we don't have ready, available to showcase to you, but we do have a few of them. We haven't seen each other's list, and let's jump right in. I'll go ahead and start. Normally you start,
first?
so
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and start this time. This is really in no particular order, but I will start with one that I have here, just to go ahead and get a game on the table.
Cool.
And this is a game that I would have never, ever played if it weren't for listening to so much Board Game
Biblios.
Garage, and that is Biblios.
Yeah.
This is a game by ELO.
Yeah.
It is designed by Steve Finn and illustrated by David Palumbo. And really, I mean, nothing against David's illustration. The illustrations are good. The art is well done. I mean, decently well done. The theme is just something that I have zero care about at all.
Yeah.
Just zero interest in this theme. And they're doing
I don't even know for sure. I didn't come away knowing the theme.
Right, that's pretty
You
much
don't
it.
really need to know.
You're like a,
Something
you're
about a
head
monk.
of the monastery and competing against other monasteries to become the one with the most wonderful library.
Didn't get that at
assembling
all
your
from the game.
collection. Yeah, exactly. The theme is garbage, and it turned me off. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately, it turned me off. It was Mark Maceda who plugged it every single episode of Board Game Garage that allowed me to give it a try. It was less than $20. I was like, I'll get it. If I don't like it, I'll pass it on. I've still only played it a handful of times, but man, it's a good game.
I love it.
It's
great.
really good. It's so simple, and every decision you have, because the way the game plays is you're drawing cards, and it's how many people you're playing with plus 1. I've only ever played this game at 2. So normally you're drawing 3 cards, and you decide if you want to keep it, if you want to give it to the other person, or if you want to put it in the auction pile for later. And so there's a push your luck element of, if I give away the first 2 cards, that third card is guaranteed mine. But I could also keep the first card, and then the third card be amazing, and I have to give it up.
Yeah.
I really just like the flow of this game and the way it works, and genuinely, again, could not care less about the theme, but it does have a magnetic book opener, which is pretty great.
Yeah, I want to play more of it. Maybe even like right now.
Okay.
Anyway,
we can just stop the video.
So this first one is a game that Max had tried to get me to play a bunch of times, and I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, and I would never like push it too hard because I wasn't, I didn't really want to play it, but I wasn't gonna be mean and be like, no, Max, I don't want to play. It's a game about witches. And making a brew.
Yes.
Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Yeah.
I especially was like, I'm not gonna like this game when we were unpacking it, and I was seeing all the pieces. I was like, this game just doesn't look up my alley at all. I really don't think that I'm gonna enjoy this. Ended up loving it.
Yeah, you had a blast.
Had a literal blast.
Yeah, multiple blasts
with the game. Really enjoyed it. Loved the like the strategy involved in it, and the press your luck and the what am I gonna get next out of my bag. Like, all of it was a lot of fun, and it really surprised me. And even my wife went away from it like halfway through the game. She finally understood it and loved it as well.
It's one of those that's like, it's a really easy game, but it's pretty unique. It's for someone who's never played real time, never played bag builder. I mean, those aren't two very common game types, archetypes in like beginner games.
Yeah.
So just because someone's pretty experienced with games doesn't mean they've ever played a real-time game or ever played a bag builder. Like, those are not the most common things. So even though it's a fairly simple game, it can take a little bit to grasp. It's just a little bit to teach.
It's very strange looking, and the pieces, like, I mean, the artwork is cute, but
the artwork's good. It's a good production. It's just not the most compelling artwork in the world.
For sure. Enough to where I kept saying there's a bunch of these on this shelf that I would much rather play, and ended up being one of my favorites that we've played this year. So yeah.
I'm glad you loved it so much. It's one of my favorites, and Jeff also doesn't like it, which just means it's even better in my mind. So all right, moving on. This is one I do not have here. This is the one that's at your house.
Okay. I'm excited to know whatever this is.
We just played this, and I didn't think I would like it at all, really.
What did we play?
We played Viticulture, Essential Edition.
Oh, it's not even mine.
Games. No, it's mine. Yeah, it's mine. It's just at his house.
Okay. This was almost on my list, too.
Really? Okay,
and I think we've talked about this, where like we both kind of had this, like, I don't really want to play a game.
I like the theme of wine, but like it's not something that's super compelling. I've had mixed experiences with like Scythe and Pendulum. Like I enjoyed them, but they weren't awesome. I also just don't play that many worker placements. I'm learning that I like them more than I think I did. I'm learning that I like them more than I thought I did.
Okay.
But like to me, it was one of those things where even first getting into the hobby, Danielle was like, "Hey, Viticulture, it's a game about wine. Let's get it." I was like, "Yeah, let's get it." A year and a half later, we'd never gotten it, and then I had it, and it sat on my shelf. I mean, not that long, a couple weeks, but there were multiple times where I went to learn it, and I was like, I just really have no desire.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care to learn this game right now. I literally pulled it out and set up a two-handed game and just sat there. And I was just like, nah. And I packed it all back up. It's not even a hard game to learn.
No.
I just didn't want to do it. And I'm very happy now that I have. I played it at 2-player, at 3-player, and at 4-player on BGA with Jeff and Jamie.
Oh, cool.
Enjoyed it every single time.
How was it at 4? Did it feel just as good as 2?
It felt just as good. See, in 4, it doesn't open up any more spots. So it's the same spots as in a 3-player game.
Okay.
Yeah, in a 2-player game, you have 1 spot. In a 3 to 4-player game, you have 2 spots. It's in the 5 to 6 that you get 3 spots. But the expansion's in our cart right now. I haven't bought it yet, but we're going to get the expansion 100%. It's a game that I just dreaded actually opening up.
Me too.
And then finally having played it, I mean, I'm not going to put it in the top 10 or anything yet, but like it's really good.
Oh, it's great.
Like, especially with the Tuscany expansion, I'm really excited to see where that skyrockets to.
It honestly, and this sounds really strange, but it is part of the reason why I'm glad I'm saving, if you've watched our other video, Agricola and Bora Bora and games like that, because for some weird reason, I have this weird,
look fun,
weird
man.
affinity against games that just have like a guy and a girl like smiling at each other on the front
just
cover.
The most boring, basic looking Euro cover.
I don't want that. I don't want to play that.
Right.
I want to play something that looks awesome, like
Spirit Island, and like Gloomhaven, and
Bloodborne, or Blood Rage, or like any of those. That
Cthulhu,
have, like, cool
monsters, and things like that. Right.
Like, I don't want to just like be a guy raising a farm with a family. But
honey, we got to kill the sheep today. We're about our children are starving, so. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm glad you understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna do one that isn't over here just yet. This one's gonna be interesting because I did play it and then actually disliked it for a very long time.
Oh.
And then came
back
to it.
I played this one with you?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
I want to know what your guess is.
Yeah, give me a little more. Give me a little more info.
It is only a 2-player game.
Okay. You played it once.
It's kind of abstract. Not a very good theme.
I am not grasping. What is it?
It is one of the oldest games there is, chess.
Oh, yeah. Well, once you said that.
Yeah. Chess is a game that I finally got back into because my wife loves it, and she had one of her old chess sets, and we set it up, and it was one of those things where it was just there on our coffee table all the time, so why not, express some interest in it. I was getting her into a lot of board games that I liked. Why not, reciprocate a little bit? And I got destroyed a bunch of times, and the very first time we sat down to play it again, realized that, as a kid, I guess I just didn't understand the game. And now that I love board games, I realized that there is a fun game in chess. It's just as fun as a lot of other strategy games I really like. And I just took this really deep dive afterward. I played...
You dreamt about chess?
Multiple games a day, like to the point where Emily was like, Josh, you have to stop playing
Yeah.
chess. That's all you're doing. We're at your
dinner
family's
table.
birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, put chess down for a little while. And I just couldn't, like, every time I got the little notification that is like the noise or whatever.
Someone
I'm like,
played-
I gotta see what they played. And I got way too into it, and I've stopped since and played maybe like 1 or 2 in the last like 3 or 4 months.
Which is funny because
Yeah.
I still play.
Yeah.
I
Do you really
also
play?
love chess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't play all the time.
Mhm.
I probably still play 2 to 3 games a day.
Okay.
I mean, and I sit down and play the 5 or 10 minute games, so I don't do
Yeah.
like the asynchronous. I usually just do it while I'm in the restroom or something like
Yeah.
that. But I still very much enjoy chess, and it's another one too that, like, I mean, let's be honest, me, like many people, really just got interested in it with the Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd played chess sometime in my life prior to, but I had no real interest in it. And then the Queen's Gambit was just so exciting and fun and interesting, and I was like, yep, this is a thing.
Mhm.
And now, I own a chessboard. My father and I played for a while. We haven't played in a couple months at this point in time, and then playing on chess, the app on the phone is just so easy.
Yeah.
So.
No, great game.
All right, let's bring out the other one that I have here. My remaining 2 I do not have here, but this is one of the most popular, well-loved Euro games, in sort of in the same vein as Viticulture, in a sense that, like, it's so dry.
Castles of Burgundy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I really did
Yeah.
not expect to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did buy this game with my own money, so there's a part of you that knows, like, I'm hoping to enjoy it,
Mhm.
but it's one of those that I truly did not think I would.
Yeah.
This was honestly one of my first handful of games when I got into the hobby. I mean, I got like Gloomhaven and then kind of Castles of Burgundy and a few things, and it took me a while to play it. But once I did, man, it worked so well. Like, it's such a great game. It's ugly. I mean, I am of the opinion that it's not pretty. There's some people that like the Euro-ness of it. Nah, not me. The aesthetics are not for me, and they really, frankly, didn't improve on it much in the 25th anniversary edition.
People wouldn't talk about how ugly it is as much if it wasn't for the fact that it got an updated edition
And it's
then
still ugly.
didn't
Yeah.
really change.
I don't think it's the ugliest board game ever, but it's certainly not great. And like, they could have done so much. Like, you get a chance to improve it, and you still just missed the mark.
Yeah.
But regardless, Castle of Burgundy is an extremely Euro strategy game.
Isn't it in like the top 20 on BGG?
Yeah, it's got to be close.
huge.
It's big. It's big.
I might be
time.
overestimating
I mean, same
it,
with
but-
Viticulture. I
Yeah.
mean, that's another one that's way up there too. And I think that has a little something to do with it too. I'm not a hipster, but there is an extent in me that, like, wow, this game's that well loved. Like, no way. There's no way I'm gonna
Yeah.
like it. I almost put Azul on this list because it was one of those that, I mean, I didn't play Azul until 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit longer.
I remember
but-
introducing it to you and you thinking beforehand, like, it's not going to be that great.
Yeah.
Like, Calico, I'd rather play.
Right. And I loved Azul.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one of those that people just love so much.
Mhm.
And it doesn't really have a theme that gets me interested. And I'm just like, there's no way that this game is that good. Like, there's no chance. And then it really is. And Castles of Burgundy is one of those. I actually haven't played the updated version yet. I mean, I've seen the box. I can tell it's not the prettiest thing in the world. But I haven't actually sat down and played it with any of the expansions or anything. Such a good game. I need to play it again with, like, Danielle. And just with you, I think it works excellently at 2.
Okay, I've
Really
only played
excellent.
it at 3. And
I
it
think
was
it's
with
an
Josh and you.
awesome 2-player game. So it's another one that I really want to get back to the table sooner rather than later. But is one that I did not think I'd like.
All right, I'm going to pull off the one that I have from
right.
your shelf as well.
All right.
This one, you actually talked about throwing in this list. I remember coming here and you're like, we're going to record with this. It's a great game. It just came out like not too long ago, and we're gonna table it. I saw it on the table and I was just like, I really don't think this is gonna be
Did we
that
play
great.
it that day?
We did, and I enjoyed it a lot, and it is Babylonia.
Oh, yeah.
Babylonia is a game that I love, and isn't this on your top 20?
It is. It is in
Okay.
my top 20. I think it was number, I don't want to get it.
If I had a top
12?
30, it'd be in the top 30,
Yeah.
and I can't speak on how little I cared the first time I saw it. Like, even the front cover is like, okay, well, whatever.
It's a pretty cut. Like, the
Yeah.
production is well done, but it's the same thing. Production's well done, but it's not a compelling piece of
No.
artwork. It's not something that really, like, gets me excited. The freaking Ludo Nova tag with the spaceship gets me more interested than Babylonia, but it's so good.
Yeah, and we played it twice. The first round, I was like, okay,
I crushed you the first round.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it enough to be like, okay, I see some strategies
and then you
here.
just
I want
beat
to
the
play
crap out of me
on
second
camera.
round.
I had a blast, like running away with the game.
Yeah,
but I really want to try this at 3 and 4 players. We've only done it at 2, but I love how. And Small World does this too, where the map just gets a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so the game is basically the same. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the map is different sizes. I've played it at 2 and 4. I've never played it at 3. I really liked it at both. I think it was great at 2 because it's one of the strategy heavy games. Not like heavy complexity wise, but a lot of strategy, and it's a 60-minute or less game.
Oh, yeah.
Like we could finish this in a half hour if we were really trying in 2
100%.
players, and that's awesome. And the components are fun. They're not like the highest quality, but I love the little wooden shit and stuff. Like they're
those
great.
Are awesome.
Yeah,
I love those a lot. I wish that more games did that instead of like the punch outs and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But great game.
Yeah, this is one that I came so closely to putting it on my list.
Yeah, he kept talking about it. I was like, yeah,
sure,
okay,
that's on my list. Yeah,
I didn't say that. I didn't want to. I wanted to surprise you.
Yeah, we're all keeping this hidden so far. The next one is a game that I've only played one time. Fully anticipated to not enjoy it. Because of the name recognition that comes along with it. I played this game with, I'm trying to remember, it was with Jesse and maybe Sean or Jan. I don't remember which one, or both of them for that matter, but this is Bus. And this is a Splotter game. And Splotter, to me, is like scary. Like, that's a scary name. Splotter is antiquity. Splotter is, what's the one where you're food chain magnate, stuff like that. Like these big, really ridiculously heavy games. Like ridiculously heavy. And I don't even think this is a true, I don't think this is even a factual quote, but people have assigned a quote to Splotter games that's like, if you can't lose on the first move, then what's the point of playing a first move? And I don't even think that's a real quote. I highly doubt he's actually said that. It's probably like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, something like that.
Yeah.
But maybe he did actually. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. But that's scary. Like losing a game on the first turn, especially someone that like you got to play it once to even learn how to play it.
Yeah.
She's saying that like the first move I've ever made on this game can literally cause me to lose. But I kind of get it. Regardless, Bus is incredible. The theme is whatever. You're having a bus route, making sure you can carry people from work to home or work to the pub to home, home to work.
Yeah.
There's some like time travel element in there where you can stop time and change which route they're going to. Yeah. There's a time travel or some kind of time manipulation element where you can say, I'm stopping time, and then instead of them going from work to the pub, they go backward. I don't know. We didn't really utilize that element in our play, but I think it's interesting. It's one of the more interesting things about the theme. But regardless, it's just carrying people from their job to the pub and their pub to home to sleep and back and forth. But it's really such a fun experience. You can use as many actions as you want, but you only have a set amount of actions for the entire game. Something like 20 actions for the whole game. And you can use them whenever you want. You could use all 20 in the first round. I mean, it's literally probably impossible, but you could maybe. But then you don't have them there. So it's a push and pull of when do I use my actions? When I see an opportunity, do I take it? You have to be very strategical about where you place your things and where you're putting your spots. But whatever. Bus is a good game.
Yeah.
It's great.
I remember watching your video and having the same experience where I was like, I don't know if this is going to be a great game, but I'll watch it because you and Jesse and I think it was
Sean or Jan or Sean and Jan.
I think it was Sean and Jan.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I like Jan, and I've not seen you two in a video together.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll watch it, even though I'm not interested. And by the end of the game, I was like, this actually looks really, really neat. I want to try this.
Bus is a game that I'd like to own, but another thing about Splotter is their games are just expensive. I mean, their games are costly. How much is that one right now? So that edition, which is the 25th anniversary edition, is like $120 or something. Oh my gosh. Yeah, for Bus. I know, it's wild. I don't know. They're expensive games.
Well, anyway, this isn't about how expensive they are. It surprised us.
It's true. It did. It surprised me a lot.
Oh, I don't know why I'm reaching because it's not here.
We're all out.
Anyway.
Why are you not showcasing your games? I'm showcasing my games. Wow. Yours are prettier than mine too.
This one's gonna fall apart because Quacks is not shut very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my next game is a game that I played only this year, and I've only played it with you and my family, and I think one other person. and I've played it like multiple times with each person that we've done this with. You owned it. I fell in love with it so much that I backed season 2 and bought it off of you.
All right, yep.
And I did not expect to like it as much as I did at all. And I honestly can say it's one of my favorites, is Super Fantasy Brawl.
Mm-hmm. By Mythic Games.
Yes, by Mythic Games. This is a game that I think the biggest reason why I didn't think I would like it is...
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I was mostly kidding.
I feel like I'm hiding behind it.
While you're thinking, I'm just going to make a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
There we go.
So...
Looks good.
I think the biggest reason I thought I wouldn't like it as much as other skirmish-style games is because there isn't any dice. And I know that some people would prefer never to have dice at all. But I really like Dice Chuckers. I think that they're a fun, like, group activity game where I'm going to make a few moves that are calculated, and hopefully this gets me the most dice. But ultimately, it's all up to that dice roll of how well am I going to do, and am I going to finish you off or whatever. Whereas this game is all about card use, and also these little shields, red, yellow, and blue, which represent the actions that you can take. You play a card that is red, you flip over the little red shield. You play a card that's yellow, you flip over the yellow shield. And then those actually can be flipped over for basic actions, but you want to try to use all your cards. And the push and pull of that game, it literally, because you can push and pull, and that's really important, is so fun. I remember watching my family, who is very much light to medium weight games only, and not that this is a heavy game, but it's definitely heavier than the games that my family typically plays. Watching them get really excited about the card that they're reading, and they know that while, my sister she's playing these things and they're all surrounding that thing, they're about to get that next trophy that they need to win, my mom's holding that one card that's going to knock them all back and have her steal that trophy on her next turn. And it's just this fun, like, push and pull of, haha, like, gotcha, and then it's like, oh, but wait, and then
and you can play a reaction card.
Exactly. The reactions are even more fun, and then the miniatures are all fantastic.
Miniatures are great.
But that was my biggest thing of, am I going to enjoy this game? Because I typically like games that are skirmish, that involve the dice, that involve me picking up a bunch and positioning myself in such a way that I get a whole bunch more than I normally would, and that's not it at all, and it's still fantastic.
I really like Super Fantasy Brawl. The only reason I got rid of it is because you were the one buying it. It's one that I like so much because it's not just, like, I love other skirmish games. I mean, we've played Unmatched. I really like Unmatched. We're going to do that on the channel soon. But Super Fantasy Brawl is not just, I punch you, I kill you.
Yes.
I mean, it can be if you want, because you do get points for kills, but, like, it's so much more about the objectives.
Absolutely.
So much more about surrounding this pillar, or having all of your people in each side of the territory and stuff like that. Like, the objectives are very cool, and they change the game up dramatically. And I think that is one of the most fun things, because you can play one game, same characters, and the objectives are way different. I mean, there's not a ton of objectives, only like 10 or 12, so you're going to see the same ones, but it still wildly changes how the outcome of the game happens and where you go and focus, instead of just, 1v1, I'm going to kill you, you're going to kill me, we're going to run together, we're going to punch each other, one of us is going to die. So it does change it up a lot.
I think in my mind, if I were to compare it to, like, how is it different than skirmish games, it's like how Overwatch is different than, like, a straight up, like, Halo or COD. Like, because there's the heroes that you get really excited about, and then it's all objective based, just like what you said. But so if you're, I think all of my friends who are Overwatch fans would really enjoy Super Fantasy Brawl.
Absolutely, it's a good game.
But anyway.
All right, so my final one is Last Night on Earth.
Yes.
I was just joking with you.
Okay, good. I love that we're gonna get to talk about it. Cool.
My final one is Last Night on Earth. This is a game that I had heard about from two audiences, essentially. One of which is everyone else, and the other one is Doolin and McCoy and Jash. And everyone else
Did
says...
you say and McCoy and Jash?
Yeah, but I was clarifying, so they knew and McCoy...
And just so you know, the only reason Jash likes this is because of me. Because he's only played it with me.
This is a game that everyone on the interwebs or in the world is like, really? Like, It's not good. That game is not good.
It's so good.
And you were that. You were like, oh man, this is the best. This game is amazing. And the contrast of those two opinions, I was like, this is gonna suck, and I'm gonna be disappointed because I'm gonna disappoint Doolin. Like the moment I don't like this, I know Doolin's gonna cry. Like it's one of those things. But fortunately, we had an incredible experience. Actually, Jash is in Japan, but he's still trying to contribute in some way, shape, or form. He's currently editing that video right now. So eventually, with lower quality camera and lower quality audio, that video will appear on the channel at some point in time in the future.
I think it was like literally the same week we filmed Nemesis.
Yes, it was.
So like, think about that quality.
Yeah, which wasn't bad. We still had all right, but it's not as good as it was now. But regardless, I'm excited to watch that one back again. Like let's speaking of Nemesis, not a gameplay I was particularly excited to rewatch the video for.
It's true.
Last Night on Earth, I cannot wait for that one to come out. I had the most fun. It was the perfect scenario. And I've said this before in plenty of other videos. I don't know that I ever want to play it again, which is a downside. I get it. It's a downside. But I literally had what I have to imagine is the most epic experience of Last Night on Earth that I could ever get. And it's one of those things like end on a high. Like I don't want to tarnish that expectation or that memory I have of Last Night on Earth, because everything that you would expect to see out of a zombie TV show or a zombie movie literally happened. And things that shouldn't have even happened did. The sun came out and we drew a card that killed like half the zombies. Look, it was great. And I did not expect to like it that much at all.
I'm just over here like
I know, you're vibing, bro. You're just over here vibing. You like that cat.
Yes.
Like
I feel good. I feel vindicated.
Yeah, you should.
I will say that there are quite a few of you guys who have commented on our videos that I've talked about this game. We fully expected to not go over well in the comment section typically, but you know, our fans are typically really nice. But I know there are at least dozens of you who also like this game.
There are dozens of us.
Dozens! No, it's a extremely thematic game, and I think Flying Frog Productions in general tries their best to make the most thematic games.
Which you've got your hands on some other Flying Frog stuff
that
now.
we're going to get to.
Yeah, we will.
Eventually. That are expensive.
And massive.
We got for a deal.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm so excited to
Same
try
time we bought Too Many Bones from Me. It
Yes.
was guys, he was a great seller. I like that.
100%. And we still gave him tons of money. But, But they'll come. Anyway, so last game that we're going to talk about for the night is one that is beloved by many. And when I first played this, it was towards the beginning of my like deep dive in the board game hobby.
Have I played with you?
Don't think that we've played this necessarily.
Do you know if I've played it?
I know for a fact that you have played it though. There are multiple versions of this game. It's one of those that is right up there with like the names of Catan and code names and.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
Ticket to Ride?
It's Ticket to Ride.
It's gotta be.
Ticket to Ride.
Which version did you play?
Base game.
Oh, okay. I've only played Europe.
I've played Europe. I've played Ticket to Ride normal because I think that's the first game that came out, right? There's Ticket to Ride. Then there's Ticket to Ride Europe, and then there's like a million others.
So many.
I've played Ticket to Ride London as well, which is really fun. I honestly think that might be my favorite version of the game because it's shorter and smaller. It's really great. Anyway, so I played Ticket to Ride in the middle of playing all of these other games that I had been buying. I had not bought Ticket to Ride. I got invited over to a friend's house to try it out, and I typically avoided games like it because I was buying mainly on theme alone. And so, like, I was buying things like Small World.
Last Night on
Earth. Games like, I think I had just started getting into Zombicide. Like, I was slowly going in that direction of, I love the epic fantasy battling, like, all of those.
Not making routes and moving trains.
Exactly.
Right.
And so when my friend was like, let's play Ticket to Ride, it's this fantastic game, you'll love it. And after we finished the games that I was bringing to the table, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Right.
And I came over and I ended up like falling in love with this like fun train building, like route building game that is so simple and beloved by so many, but I just didn't think that it would appeal to me. And there's something to be said about how well it's done for so long and how good it is at pulling people into this hobby.
Yeah. It's another one for me that I had a similar experience. I mean, I purchased it. It was my own copy. But the same extent that I was talking about Azul, like, people love this game.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, there's doesn't really interest me that much. But, like, I'll give it a go to see. And I really did enjoy it. I have to say, though, surprisingly, I think I've only played Ticket to Ride one time.
Really?
The first time I ever played it, I think, is the only time I've ever played it.
And you only played Ticket to Ride Europe?
I've only played Ticket to Ride Europe.
Okay.
And I really did like it. And it sits... I don't know where it sits. Do I not own that game anymore? I don't know. I thought I still did. Where did it go?
I don't know. I own both of them, so you can borrow it from me if you want.
What did I do with it?
He probably got rid of it in his calling.
I don't think I got...
It was like your Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You wake
Maybe
up, you're like, where's my games? I've sold them all.
Maybe I did. I don't really know that story. That doesn't hit with me. The joke doesn't.
I actually don't know it a whole lot. I just know that it's kind of like...
Anyways, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it.
We're going to play Ticket to Ride. Gosh dang it.
All right, we will.
It's great.
We'll make it happen.
We'll try London.
The Europe 25th anniversary just came out.
I know. It's a lot of money, though.
It's like $75, and that's if you get it from an
I already
MSRP
own 3
place.
copies of it.
Regardless, we hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know down in the comments what are some games that you really didn't expect to enjoy and then ended up loving. And I probably should have said this at the beginning, but don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already and if you enjoyed what you saw.
And also bonus points if you can tell us games. Like, this would make my day. If you were to say,
Last Night on
I
Earth.
didn't know. Well, yes. But you were to say games that you didn't think you were going to enjoy, we pushed, like, hey, this is a good game.
Yeah, was there any games you've tried because we opened them up
and
to
you liked them? I would feel really bad if you hated them.
Yeah.
Because you can tell us, but specifically with this video.
You should tell us. I'd love to know. Regardless, it still means we have influence.
That's true.
Clout.